certainly the best.
Great to have you join us on Politics Today as we begin with two major developments shaping Nigeria's national conversation. First, the escalating wave of insecurity once again grips the nation. Another disturbing incident which emerged from Niger State, where a Catholic school suffered yet another abduction, raising urgent questions about our security strategy, the safety of our educational institutions, and of course the broader implications for communities living under constant threat. Well, we will be examining the factors behind this troubling trend and what resolutions might look like. And later on the show, we will turn our gaze on the controversy surrounding Nnamdi Kanu, whose life sentence ruling has sparked intense political, legal, and of course social debate. What does this decision mean? Troubling decision, you may say, for national cohesion, the rule of law, and of course the road ahead for Nigeria. We'll also explore how this moment could shape the country's political landscape in the months to come. Of course, we have a panel of analysts standing by to break down these issues from every angle. And stay with me, my name is Philip Omogyupo, never will I forget that. And don't forget that as we progress on the show, listeners on independent radio and of course viewers on independent television will be allowed to join. Via the course, you will be pouring in others for free. And of course, I will be urging you to be civil in your presentation. And of course, quickly hitting the ground, running on what we have today, starting with my guests in the studio. At my extreme left, I have a professor from Novena University, Professor Tony Joweri. Big thanks for coming.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
And next, just at the extreme, is a politician, and he is Honorable Etiosa Igebo. Thanks for being here.
Good morning. Good morning, viewers. Thank you.
And of course, I have a reverend with me, also a legal practitioner, Barrister Greg. Big thanks for taking time to be here.
Good morning, Philip, and good morning, viewers and listeners on radio.
Well, we'll be extending the discussion to virtually to a global analyst joining us via Zoom from the United Kingdom, and it is Chief Daniel Akwemokan Matthews. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you, my brother? And to my esteemed...
Awesome. Amazing.
And the professor, I agree to good morning.
Thank you, Chief. Also joining us via Zoom, as you can see, from the FCT Abuja, is another fine legal practitioner, Damisa Itote. Good morning, Damisa.
Good morning, Mr. Philip. Good morning, panelists. Second morning to you, Nigerians, and of course the listeners on radio.
Okay.
Good morning. Thank you.
Big thanks. All right. So let's quickly assess and unpack these issues. I'm starting with you, Honorable Etiosa Igebo. We've been having troubling issues, and of course, we've seen recurring decima from one administration to another. Well, we have the 2027 big election here, and looking at what we have in our hands, which started with the schoolgirls at Kebbi, and of course, just 4 days later, we heard about that out Niger State with St. Mary's Catholic School. Now, troubling issues as these. Some say it could be politically motivated. And others say, well, we seem not to have a wherewithal at government level to tackle this issue of insecurity. I don't know if you see it as politically motivated or lack of political will on the part of the president.
Well, I think it's politically motivated. And before I dabble more into that, I think I want to remind our people that I wouldn't necessarily think it is a lack of goodwill or willingness from the government, because there are actually military personnel involved, and in most cases we'll lose some of them in the point of contact. So this is about a nation, people putting in the effort to be at the battlefront, in some cases losing personnel who has loved ones. And I don't think we should trivialize it to say that government would, you know what I mean, ignore that sacrifice.
Or lacks political will to do the needful.
So I think it's political, because this whole adoption reminds us very vividly of the Chibok girls Whenever there's an election coming, or maybe they feel that there's a particular president they don't like, elements within the space politically, I'm a politician too, I believe very strongly that they start using certain militia that they keep somewhere to attack soft targets, all in the name of to discredit the government. You know, that is the closest I would think of if I have to be very sincere with my conversation. However, that doesn't mean that there are no challenges logistically or tactically on the part of the military. Because remember, before this whole incident came up again now, that has become a talking point across the nation and all over the world, even when President Trump is mentioning a country of particular concern because Christians are being killed in any way or form. There are periods and times before now when the country enjoyed some level of security. Like for instance, I spoke to people in Sabah, Kaduna, who lived there, who used to suffer insecurity. And in the last year and a half, into the 2 years since the president have come on board, they can literally go everywhere in Kaduna, while all of a sudden, this whole thing has started again. So I think Nigerians should really wake up and make a choice to whether they're going to defend their country against those fifth columnists in this country who feels they're involved in politics, or they're in the military system, or they're in the intelligence system, or whichever ways that maybe they've got enough money that they've siphoned from systems even before the subsidy was removed, and they can use that to distort what is right and what is wrong, to constantly get us to smack our heads together and not even know who are the true indigenous of this land, who is fighting for this peace to return, or those who are failing it. So I think it's about time we should take a step back and really reflect deeply and support the government of this country in order to get real intelligence. And because these people, we know, from facts, I've spoken to people in high places, they do know where they are and who they are about.
Exactly where I was going.
And then I think our people should reclaim their country back,
All right.
support the government, and get rid of these people.
All right, thank you. Now, we're about looking at issues surrounding how to close the gaps. Obviously, we know that, Nigeria has been a hotbed for insecurity. And of course, how to, tackle this headlong has been an issue that we've been dealing with for decades now. I don't know your thoughts on this, Professor Tony Jewelry.
Well, I think to solve a problem, you have to look at the genesis, the background of the problem. When you talk about insecurity in Nigeria, we don't have to politicize it. The whole thing really started from Buhari's regime. The late Buhari's regime. We have to be honest with ourselves. We remember when he said if he doesn't win that election, in that year, that blood will flow like Babu. And in the process, for God's sake, he invited these militias, these fighters from neighboring countries, okay? And they were stationed in different parts of the country, just in case he did not win that election. And at the end of the day, Jonathan being a peaceful man, the former President Jonathan being a peaceful man, he now gave up and said, hey, now congratulated him in advance. Oh, you won the election, congratulations. So these mercenaries that were invited into the country had no job to do. So in the process, they approached El-Rufai and of course Buhari, who invited them. What do we do? Pay us our dues. When you pay us our due, we go. And those ones say, hey, gentlemen, there's no job to be done again because, a new government is in place. There's nothing like fight and all that again. And so, for the sake of survival, they started doing all sorts of things, went to the trenches, started kidnapping, and doing all sorts of. So new groups started emerging in the process because they now discovered that there's money in the business, and the president at that time could not do much because he knows that he is the root cause of the whole thing, and that is why you see the moment they are even arrested, within a short time they are let go, and so the thing continues. And when these other groups discover that, oh, there's money in this business, more groups started emerging. And what happened? Then this sentiment of Niger Delta thing, amnesty program. But I said, okay, in view of all what do we do? The same people who were beneficiaries now suggested, oh, let's also give them amnesty. Are you getting it?
Yeah.
Let's also they now give the amnesty. They were treated as the beautiful bride. You know, give the uniform, fed them, put them in good hotels and all that and all that. Then the interesting thing, let me shock you, they now integrated them into Nigerian army. Okay, and when that happens, what do you expect? Of course, they started giving information back to their colleagues, you know, in the trenches, you know, in the trenches. And in view of that, when Nigerian army now goes for genuine operations, you know, to attack these people, they will give them information. Then that's why you start having landmines planted in strategic places and all that. And any operation Nigerian army wants to, they will also give the information.
Yeah.
So it's like there's an internal problem,
So the Nigerian
you know,
army,
within the
meanwhile,
Nigerian
was
army.
sabotaged.
So they couldn't do much at the end of the day. And it's unfortunate that Tinubu inherited that type of system, insecurity. And so there's little or nothing he can really do, except the army sanitize, and all these people have,
Okay.
yes, are discovered, you know, and separated, you know, filtered. That's the word I was looking for. Filtered away from the Nigerian army.
Okay.
If that is not done, the problem continues.
Okay, we have a very delicate situation on our hands, most especially as we have different figures being peddled, you know, as per the students that have been, you know, abducted in Niger State. We're still looking for the orders at Kebbi, and we have various numbers being peddled, which is quite alarming. I don't know how you want this to be fixed, because most especially when we look at situations where year in, year out, every 4 years, we have elections coming up. And of course, they keep giving us promises, but there's this need for us to be proactive in governance. How do you see the lapses being closed under the present administration of President Tinubu?
What the man sows, he will reap. We should look at some of the people in power today. How did they come to power? It was by sowing and encouraging insecurity and making insecurity a campaign slogan. And we all know it. Then we can't run away from it. What you sow, you will reap. What we might be reaping today is what was sown. And the people who sowed it, we know them. Kabiru Sokoto, who went to a church, and then with his men, about 25 people were killed, the Catholic Church. DSS was looking for him. Other security agencies were looking for him. Eventually, they tracked him to the guest house of a governor in the administration at that time. And because it was a government house, you know, the president has to waive immunity for them to attack. And they did. And they found him there. He was sitting on the table over very sumptuous breakfast.
Yes.
A very sumptuous breakfast. And he was arrested. That government official is a top government official in this present administration. That will tell you the root of the insecurity. It was meant to spy Jonathan, to discredit him, and then to oust him from power. And the people did that. They're in this administration.
Yes.
So eventually, what they sowed is what they are reaping. Just like the prof has analyzed. You know, they couldn't pay them. They couldn't compensate them. So those people have to find things for themselves. You see, if you are desperate for power and you want to get power, even at the expense of your own country, this is the kind of thing that you get from it.
Well, it's quite challenging, most especially where the president had to, you know, suspend at the point his trip, his foreign trip, and of course over the Kebbi schoolgirls abduction. And again, another one happened. We don't know what the president will do in this time. If he will suspend the forthcoming trip again.
I'm sorry to cut you short. Okay. You see, one has even just happened again now. I was looking at the media just now. In Nasarawa.
In Nasarawa.
Okay, I saw that yesterday.
Okay, well, escalating issues like this, let's join you, Damisa Itoti from Abuja. Now, we have challenges where even the president said that the Minister of Defense should shift base to Kebbi. Now, it happened another one happened in Niger State. We don't know if the minister will again shift base to Niger State. Or just like what we just hearing now about Nasarawa. Now, what exactly can be done in all of this? Do you see the president as having challenges of lacking political will in this? Damisa Itote, can you hear me, please? I asked, what are your thoughts about how to tackle this issue headlong? Because the president did say that the Minister of Defense should shift base to Kebbi, but another one happened at Niger, and of course we're just hearing reports at Nasarawa. What do you see as ways in which this dreaded monster of insecurity can be tackled headlong?
Okay, well, thank you for having me once again. For me, I sincerely express my sympathies, over this kidnap and the endless bloodbath across the country, particularly in the northern part of Nigeria. I sincerely pray and hope that the little girls who are, schooling, who are receiving formal education, be brought back to their family, be reunited with their family, alongside everyone that has been, taken into captivity by this dreaded monster. It's painful, and I feel for the families and, of course, the little ones that are currently away from the classrooms where they ought to be if we were in a sane, society. Mr. Philip, back to your question.
Well, I don't know. Well, we sincerely apologize for the break in transmission. Separation by technical hitch. Well, I believe as we're able to restore that, we'll be getting back to Damisa Itote. Damisa Itote, are you there? Can you continue from where you left off, please?
You can hear me. Can you hear me? Yes,
I can hear you. Go ahead, please.
Where I stopped, but I was okay. I said I was emphasizing with the little, children, pupils, and other people who were, of course, taken into captivity. And for me, we've traced the issue. Your very robust panelists have, traced the issues. The question is that what is the way forward? One thing I really want to dwell on is that we are over-concentrating our effort on 2027 that we are not even yet guaranteed of.
Certainly.
We seem to be playing politics other than governance. See defection of sitting governors, defection here and here, all get towards 2027. While re-governance has taken the back seat. I think that is the problem, basically. If we are sincere in tackling this situation, this insecurity situation, we should come up and examine or interrogate basic issues. What are those issues? One, personnel training. Well-equipped personnel training. Re-establishment of a broader curriculum in our security institutions, where modernized way of confronting wars, quote and unquote, war, asymmetric wars that are currently going on, that should be tackled. But we discover that we are not doing that. Monies are voted for security, but you see schools being built in the villages of service chiefs, houses being built by service chiefs, military service chiefs, conference halls springing up across the nation. Is that the commandate of our military personnel or of the military to be building primary schools, building conference centers and everything with money that were earmarked for security or for security purposes? Basically, these are the issues we should be interrogating. That we should be interrogating the professionalism of our military. Then the homeland security, the disjointed nature. So the homeland security, the architectural security of our internal, the internal security within the country is heavily disjointed. We now react to issue. We are very reactive to issue instead of being preventive. Instead of integration, there is a total disjointment of the security architecture. So these are the issues. The DSS report directly to the president. The other security agencies like the immigration, NSCDC, they are under the administrative power of the Ministry of Interior. The police, it reports to the Ministry of Police Affairs, and so many other disjointed security apparatus. So how do we expect to have results? We cannot have results. So my suggestion or my recommendation is this. We should have a unified internal security mechanism or internal security framework that aligns with global best practices under the single leadership of a civilian-led administrator. So that all these other, sisters agencies, in fact, customs, which controls borders, report to the Ministry of Finance. That is not logical. Custom controls, but they report to Ministry of Finance. They are in another different ministry. So you see that the chain of command is not unified. So a DSS will give reports or give a security report. Police will be very reluctant in taking it or enacting on it. NSCDC will take because they receive instruction from other agencies and all of that. So that is where the problem is. Our security architecture is disjointed. It is disintegrated. So it we must evolve ways by which we should have one single homeland security architecture under the headship of a civilian-led administrator, so that there can be a chain of command that will be followed directly down, to the lowest echelon. I think that is my position. If we fail to do that, then we are not there yet, or we are not even ready to take,
Thank you, giant. Let's shift our gaze to Chief Daniel Akwemokan-Matthews. Well, we've been on this road, though, and it's quite difficult to really unpack this, most especially where over 200, as Punch newspaper reported, about 215 students, that are declared abducted at the Niger, school, a Catholic school. And of course, we still have the numbers of Kebbi. Now, there were issues surrounding the President of America, what he said concerning Nigeria of particular concerns. And of course, that sparked political debate, social debate across the world. But what do you see as ways to close this gap? And of course, how to tackle this issue of lack of political will that you may think exists, or lack of, intelligence gathering or tactics that could help to salvage this issue. Chief Daniel.
Thank you very much. A nation full of religious and tribal bigots. And to be honest, it's also full of political cowardice with handicapped military that is not really interested in the defense of the people, but rather than road checks, collecting coins from motorists. And it's obvious now that no one can say that we don't have a genocide going on in Nigeria. From what is happening in Kwara, Niger, and all across. That genocide now is so obvious that over 200 girls or more, or thereabout, are kidnapped in a Catholic school in Niger State. So for me, until we come to grip that this so-called Nigeria needs to be re-examined and reimagined, then people like El Rufai, who we know is a terrorist sponsorer, and also with the late evil Buhari, who we know is the father of the bloodshed going on in Nigeria, and confronts them, then we will never be able to address the issue, no matter what strategic purpose we have. Because it's obviously clear that some people are behind this who are powerful in the government. And until we address that, there's nothing. Even if the whole America, Europe, and the whole world were to come, what happened in Somalia will happen. Will be fractionized, will be destroyed, and will never be able to be put together until we deal with one single thing, that we have politicians who are not cowards. We have traditional leaders who actually lead their people, who are not bought off. We have local people who value other people's life just as much as theirs, who start speaking up and start defending one another. So what the fine gentleman in Abuja just illustrated is a strategic thinking of somebody with critical mind. But majority of our politicians are just political opportunists. They are not interested in governing. They're only interested in the next election. They're already spending money for the next election rather than governing to prove themselves of capability to be re-elected. So until we address that and start focusing on that, calling out those political opportunists, low IQ politicians, all our problem can be politically solved. Our problem is not a military problem. It's not a religious problem. It's not even a tribal problem. It's a political problem, a political will. And I call the president, indirectly the president. I believe in him. I'm going to support him. I'm campaigning already for him for 2027. But if the president is not a coward, if he's a man of integrity and value, who value life above politics, who value a little child, regardless the religion that has been kidnapped, he needs to show his braveness in this matter. Into the armed forces should be all those who served 8 years underneath the evil Buhari and did nothing should be purged out immediately. Those are just basic two things they can start with, and immediately give the military a full total backing to go after anybody, in not just the terrorists, but anybody aiding, supporting, sponsoring the terrorists, and alienate them. That is an easy demand or request of somebody who's not a coward. I remember when an Hausa lady said before the election, spoke to the president and asked the president, what do you have for us in the north? The president said nothing, because if I do, they will kill me. I do not want the coward as a president. In Nigeria, there's nobody above the president. The president to show his bravery, his audacity to be president, the audacity to say, Milokon, it's my turn. And in his turn, he needs to turn this around and jettison the evil of Buhari, jettison the evil of El Rufai. We have to be a nation that is not a nation of religious bigotry, political cowardice, and handicap military for us to really address this issue. And it's only through politics, not military intervention, not foreign intervention, not any foreign aid will do that. It's only through politics. And politics, not a politics of cowardness, we can fix this. And I believe we have some good politicians who are more capable and credible to do this. One of them is the president, but he needs to rise to the occasion. One of them is the president that needs to rise to the occasion, and rise he must, because the nation demands that he does this and fix this problem, and don't live as a coward, because this will ruin his legacy forever. No matter economic policy, no matter development policy that he may have achieved to date, this insecurity that he failed or cowardly not addressing fully.
Thank you, Chief Daniel. Thank you, Chief Daniel. I know you are quite agitated, but we will come back to you. But let's quickly acknowledge what you said. Basically, your bold statements made in that direction. Even though you said that you were campaigning for the president come 2027. But you need him not to be a coward, but to sit back and make sure that he drives the figures in order to tackle insecurity. But our panelists made just some solutions that could be seen as long-term. But again, there's an immediate need to get these children out of being abducted. We have hundreds of them now, as reports have it. And how can they be released? Should we go about the ransom payment as a way to release them just now? So we're looking at a very, very short-term solution. But that will come after this short break. Do stay. Well, just as we are having issues surrounding insecurity that's quite escalating, again, we're also having issues surrounding, you know, the life sentencing given to Nnamdi Kanu, and of course, what spills this could be having, you know, politically, and of course, security-wise. We have the IPOB, and of course, the sit-at-home order, and of course, all that happens to deal with, you know, regional issues. Now, let's come to you, Honorable Etiosa. What do you see as a short-term plan in order to get these children released, you know, the students released? Of course, staff are also involved. And of course, we also have the challenge where even in Katsina, where ransom payment has taken a high toll to the point where even, you know, bandits, terrorists are moving freely in the society. Now, should we go this way?
Yeah, I think with the reduction of manpower and the cost of security operations in Nigeria due to over 15 years of insecurity problems, a lot of money has been pushed in there. It is almost impossible to have every sort of gadgets or the manpower that we need to secure everywhere. Most of these places where these things are happening are very remote areas. You can almost, if you go there, you can almost think that this is not even Nigeria.
So,
but then again,
what's the short-term plan?
But then
ransom
again,
payment?
I mean, I don't necessarily think ransom payments. The people in the locals and the bandits that interfaces for whatever they are doing understands that this may be the group that came to do X, Y, Z. If they give the right information to the personnel and they're able to negotiate with them, or maybe go in and try and release those kids, whichever way, I think they should also seek for more technological support in terms of using drones and bringing in more advanced countries' contribution, because we've had bilateral relationship with a lot of these European countries and Americans, so that they can have some sort of deterrence. As much as these kids have been kidnapped is bad, but this is the same model with Chibok girls. And for like
and we still have some numbers that have not been.
Some of my brothers has been saying.
Yes, that have not been.
The people that are here, the big shots that are here, that are supporting this cause, needs to be tackled. And these problems also goes back to the Western countries, because a lot of the support they get comes from the West as well. So if the West, if they can negotiate with the Western countries more to stop the support, because a price of an AK-47 is over 7 million naira. Talk less of having a surface to air missile, machine gun. So when these aspects are stopped, then negotiation or paying ransom can become a thing of the past. Because you can negotiate whether you pay ransom or you get them out through kinetic way. Tomorrow they may do another one in a self-targeted area.
Right.
There are mines
I'm giving you about just 2 minutes each to finalize this as regards the short-term plan. I don't believe you are looking forward to ransom payments. Professor
No, I think it's more than just looking at short-term plan. We have to also look at the root cause of this problem.
Which
we can deal with the root
cause. Which we've done, but how do we solve it?
Yes, how do we solve it? Is to remove all these Boko Haram people in the army, filter them out.
That's a long-term plan.
Yes.
I'm talking about the children that are languishing as we speak right now.
Yes.
How can they be rescued?
Well, what do you expect? Ransom now. No, it's ransom. Because in Katsina State, a few months ago, if government can start negotiating with terrorists, they even came with their ammunitions, everything and all that. I would expect that the Air Force will go there, bomb nonsense out of those baggers.
But that would be difficult to do now.
No,
that would be difficult to do now.
They didn't do
because
it.
the
So
children
at the end of the day, it's still going to end up with a ransom. That's the point I'm making. You know that, but it will not solve the problem. It will not solve the problem. It's only a temporary solution. It will not. So it's like you have typhoid and you are taking paracetamol.
Okay. Do you agree to that, Barrister Greg? Do you agree to that? That there should be ransom payments since we don't have any other way to go about it?
No, there are other ways.
Or there can be a drastic action that can be taken by the army.
Very drastic action. You see, you don't negotiate with terrorists.
Exactly.
And it has been proved over and over that when you negotiate with terrorists, you are only arming them. Obama did that to Iran, 100 billion. And Iran became the bully of the Middle East. But Trump subdued them. It took only 36 hours. And the planes went there, bombed the hell out of them.
Exactly.
And they humbled Iran. And there's some reasonable peace in the Middle East.
All right.
So I think the government should do the needful. They can collaborate. Britain pays £9 billion to Israel for intelligence gathering. 9 billion pounds to Israel every year.
Wow.
No, because Britain knows the limitation of their intelligence units, and then they also know, the global stretch of Israel's own. They pay them to do it.
But by the time you mention this bogus amount and you expect the government of Nigeria to do same, the big problem will be, will these funds not be misappropriated?
We'll not pay that.
When they are
they have prevented
But will the funds not be misappropriated?
That's another
Are we not
dimension.
going to go the way of borrowing?
Yeah.
That's another issue.
All right.
What I'm saying, with global collaboration,
Yeah.
this problem of terrorism, the immediate one will be taken care of, and the future ones will be forestalled.
Okay, pour your calls at us. The number will be displayed on the screen right about now. And of course, for listeners on Independent Radio, we verbalize it so that you can be part of it. And quickly, let's get your contributions, listeners, and of course, viewers on Independent Television. Let's quickly go to you, Damisa, as we round off on this first topic. What do you see as the short-term plan in order to get these children rescued?
Okay, for me, the honest truth is that Nigeria's internal weakness makes external narrative very easy. We must control our narrative. And in the interim, do whatever you need to do to get every kidnapped Nigerian out of the bush or wherever they are kept. I have children, I have nephews, I have cousins, I have nieces. So I can practically share in the pains of parents and family members of those whose children, whose brothers, whose sisters have been kidnapped. So do whatever you need to do as a government. Where you fail to use the monies available to you to secure Nigerians, use those monies wherever you want to use it, technologically or otherwise. Bring those kids back to their respective homes. Any means possible. Any means possible, I repeat. Get these kids out, please.
Yeah, you know you are a fine legal practitioner. When you say any means possible, you are trying to dodge the aspect of even if it means paying ransom. Why don't you just say it critically? All right, let's get to you, Chief Daniel. Do you subscribe to what has been said about ransom payment as the short-term plan?
Absolutely not. And it would be a foolish errand. And basically, we're giving them more money to do what they are doing and doing it more. Good example, when America citizens were kidnapped in the north, America came all the way from America, flew in, go into the Zambezi or wherever they are, rescue their own people without a single peep. And they were able to do it and successfully left the country without a single peep. If they can, we can get their assistance. And secondly, we need to be realistic. When we talk of global cooperation, there are 5 people deported from Dubai because in Dubai, they are Muslims. The Dubai government deemed them to be terrorist financier, deported back to Nigeria, and nothing was heard of them. Short-time fix. If we don't know where the terrorists are, the Nigerian government, allegedly, Gome knows. Gome goes and speak and dine with them. Gome was rejected from entering Saudi Arabia, the most holy land for Muslims. He wasn't allowed to come and pray to the God he served because they deemed him to be an evil terrorist. Gome walked freely and advocated for the terrorist, not the victim. Arrest Gome, put Gome in jail, arrest those people who are defending, explaining, and rationalizing them. Gome goes to the camp. If Gome is not taking the army to the camp, since the army allegedly cannot find them, then Gome should take us to the camp. And finally, yes, we should go in with all the might of Nigerian government and Nigerian military. We should go in and bomb them to hell. If some of the children were to be lost in the process, so be it. If my child was among it, I'll say, yes, so be it as well. So that they do not have the audacity to do it again or again and again. They will keep doing it if we keep having this further approach. A terrorist is a terrorist, and a terrorist who is a fundamentalist, you cannot change the fundamentalist perception that believe in Takia. Takia means the art of deception. And they will continue to lie to you.
Chief Daniel, I always enjoy when you speak, most especially when you make some bold statements and sacrifices that we must make as Nigerians going forward. You may mention on the fact that even if your children or any of your child is involved, you don't mind, that you should bomb them even if the children are involved in it. But that's a very hard saying. Well, let's look at the second topic, which is mind-boggling. And again, we need to keep Nigeria united. And some have said that with the life sentencing of Nnamdi Kanu, that brings a whole challenge again concerning the restiveness we have in the eastern region, and of course, how would that gravitate into more insecurity? So, do we seek a political solution? I'll give you 1 minute to react on that, Honorable Etiosa.
Well, to me, I kept asking the questions all the time why Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, when he was in London broadcasting on Biafra Radio, why he wouldn't use his position to nominate people to run in a particular political party and direct his people, since they listen to him, to vote for that particular person as governors of the southeastern states, House of Rep members, senators, and then on that nucleus of being the leader, bring out different appointees from the southeast and work with them to develop their state, rather than turning into getting people, making threats to the Nigerian state, calling it a zoo, and then put himself in a tight corner. And at the end of the day, two wrongs don't make a right. I strongly believe that what happened to Nnamdi Kanu was not the right way to go, but he caused himself that problem. However, if terrorists and bandits are captured, prosecuted, and released back to the community in the Northeast, I also believe that he from the Southeast should be treated the same. Not to say that the things that he did was right, because even a blind man can see. So in a nutshell, what I'm saying is that he should have known better to understand this peculiar region and how things are done, that things are not balanced.
But I think irrespective of that, for national reconciliation,
yeah, but
there should be a political solution
I also believe
to release him from jail.
I also believe that the process is ongoing. By the time it goes to appeal and Supreme, whatever decisions that they make,
I just want to hit the point.
The president is in a position to also find a political solution. But then again, that move and way that he followed was not right. That is why he's going through what he's going through now.
Well, for national reconciliation, I don't know what the thoughts are. Let's get the thoughts, listeners, and of course viewers on independent television. Good morning. Tell us your name, where you're calling from, and let's get your response. Your name quickly.
Okay, Raf.
Your name is Raf? Did you say Raf?
Raf, the Oracle.
Okay. Make your contribution quickly.
I think the president is the chief commander of the armed forces. That is very conspicuous of the Constitution, section 130, subsection 2. He is coming as a Milocom, renew hope, so on and so forth. Subsidy is gone. Tax reform fee. Is that how it's going to follow the nation? Money, 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 money. The military, they thought them to be guarding a plot of land. And then have to be defending the country. Police will be protecting the country. They are no more. Backing the military and the soldiers all for themselves. I think the president needs to resign. By now, all the Donald Trump who said he wants to go to Nigeria, he should come and help us. Because their aim and objective is money, money. Any private jet, do they have these married women, giving the people who they swear at us to live in the abode of blood.
Buhari's government was
Thank you so much, Raf. Well, I think that's a very challenging one. The president has got a very risky, delicate situation on his hand, most especially as this issue of kidnapping, abduction, really the masses are bearing the brunt. We don't hear about the political class, much of that happening from that angle. But let's look at the case of Nnamdi Kanu.
Yes, when you look at the case of Nnamdi Kanu, I think it's a case of agitation, which he has a right, but the methodology has a problem, you know, because if you look at the terrorist act, you know, of 2013, it's clear that an individual should not, you know, go into this agitation against his nation.
So he broke that?
Yes, so he violated that. And don't forget that his case involved about 5 different judges until eventually it was on 6 accounts, you know, and at the end of the day was found wanting.
So you mean the judgment was fair?
Yes, on those 6 accounts.
Yeah.
You know, we're looking at the case on its face value right now, on 6 accounts. And what he was hammering on, picture, like President Tinubu eventually get amnesty.
Maybe 10 years time.
Something where I don't know. But let the law, take its course first. Then after that, the president may do the needful.
All right, let's get your thoughts on that, Barrister Greg. But before that, let's quickly take your call. Good morning, caller. Tell us your name and where you're calling from quickly.
This is my name. I'm calling from GRA.
We didn't get the name. Repeat it again, please.
Edos.
Edos, okay. Go ahead, Edos.
Hello, good morning. If you recall, my dear brother who is listening, World War II, this matter started when Juan Yusuf started this war against government of Obasanjo around 1994, our President Obasanjo. But in addition, the other one that started again with the time that one Supreme said they should operate on Sharia in North. What I'm trying to say in North here, that they said they don't want foreign education.
Okay, go straight to the point, Mr. Edos. Go straight to the point quickly, please. You have just 10 seconds.
Okay, now, the country is giving us a headache, both the South and the North. Why can't we do this? The Christians should join hands together and discuss what to do next. We cannot continue to remain like this.
Okay. All right.
That's all.
Thank you, Mr. Edos. Okay, over to you, Greg.
Hassan Katsina, Gowon, and some other military officers from the north once said that Nigeria should be broken into pieces. What happened to them? Hassan Katsina later became the chief of army staff. Gowon became the head of state. What of Sunday Igboho? Did Sunday Igboho not call for Odua Republic? Is he in prison? Has he been tried? Has he been sentenced?
Okay.
Why Kanu Nnamdi? Jonathan was told that he should go after Kanu Nnamdi. When he listed Nigeria's problem, he said Kanu Nnamdi's own is the list of all of them. So let him fix governance. And then what is somebody, going with flag and saying Biafra Republic, and that even Jonathan is not the president, he said, does that remove him from Aso Rock?
So for national reconciliation, you seek a political solution for Israelis?
What of the judgment that was given by the appeal courts?
Okay.
That struck down.
You are talking about judicial precedent?
Yes, all the charges. What happened?
So what does this amount to? I want you to make very bold
My
here.
own is this. Kanu Nnamdi should be allowed to go home. Should be allowed to go home. Yes, it's a political agitation, and which he has a right to do. If it is not tenable, then let him go home. What of the invasion of his home by the Nigerian army? Was that not against the law? Was any officer punished for it? Was even an unknown soldier punished for it?
This is quite passionate, very, very emotional, most especially coming from a very.
But at the same time, we're also aware there was a video evidence that also showed how he was giving instructions for soldiers, police to be killed and all that, police stations to be burnt and all that. So let's not just look at
why are Boko
Haram?
Boko Haram who have killed, who have destroyed, and then they were not even trying.
That is why there's no balance.
They just said that they have repented, and they are even absorbed into the Nigerian army.
When you realize that you're from a region where certain things is not balanced yet, and you're smart, you should apply the right methodology.
Thank you.
Not go the wrong way where you trap yourself.
Let's not rob Barrister Damisa and of course Chief Daniel time to react to this. Let's get to you, Damisa. React to this in 1 minute, please, over the life sentencing of Nnamdi Kanu. And what implications could this be? What could we do politically to solve this?
They will resolve it.
Okay. For me, I will not speak of the legal gymnastics that preceded the judgment of a few days ago of Justice James Omotosho of the Federal High Court Abuja Division. The cross of Kanu's agitation was that the law which it was used to charge him no longer exists.
Exactly.
But sadly, he failed to know that in every amendment of an enabling law, of an act, there are usually clauses that are called saving clause. And this was without exception.
Exactly.
That is the plain truth. And after opportunity was given to him, to defend himself, which he elected not to. For
So,
me,
so how do we solve this?
Mr.
Are you saying that
Yeah,
it should remain in that, or should there be a political solution? Well,
No, certainly there's going to be a political solution clearly. The right to self-determination. I mean, look at our international conventions, treaties, and all those things. You have a right to self-determine, for self-determination. It is
Okay,
your
thank you.
fundamental right as a state.
Thank you. Chief Daniels, quickly, you have 1 minute. React to this.
Should come into
Chief Daniels.
place.
In our constitution, as well as the West stated, right of self-determination is an inalienable right. So for me, although my fine gentlemen say there's a video evidence where we're instructing people to burn the police station down. Well, if you're from the East, I'm a purebred Asa man. I have no able blood in me, although my chieftaincy title, Chief DKD Ahoma, is from Abia State. I did not even live in the East, but I traveled around the East a lot. And I come to realize that it's the most militarized zone in Nigeria. Most of those military people are committing heinous crime against them.
Okay, quickly hit your point in 10 seconds.
The only solution is a political solution. President Tinubu must interject immediately and commute Kamu's sentence to the time served and give him a conditional bail. That's it.
Thank you so
or
much,
else
Daniel.
President Tinubu will be the last president.
We will have much time
the East will explode.
To look into this critically. A big thanks, Chief Daniel, of course, Barrister Damisa Itoti, of course, Honorable Jose Gebo, and Professor Tony Jewari, and of course, Reverend Barrister Greg Iyayi. This is what you can take, and big thanks to you, Ralph Edos, and all those that joined us on Independent Television, Independent Radio. I am Philip Omo Gupon. We'll do this same time next week. Bye for now.
Certainly the best.
Thank you very much for joining us on the program, Healthy Living. What is the kidney?
The kidney is an excretory organ in the body, which is for metabolism.
Tuberculosis affects many organs in the body, but the common ones it usually affects is the lungs.
Epilepsy is a neurological problem.
Okay.
It is an injury in the brain which causes someone to begin to convulse, to go into fits.
It is curable, but the cure is a long-term thing.
If you eat well and avoid those risk factors that will make your immunity to be down, then the risk of contracting tuberculosis will be reduced.
If you're healthy, then you're wealthy.
ITV, certainly the best.
Certainly the best.
Welcome to Market Survey, your weekly window into the cost of everyday goods that shape our daily lives. In recent times, the rising cost of food items has continued to affect homes and kitchens across the country. Today, we turn our attention to groundnut oil, a major cooking ingredient used in households, restaurants, and food businesses. Whether for frying, sauce making, or everyday meals, groundnut oil remains a staple in almost every kitchen. On this edition of Market Survey, we'll find out the current prices of groundnut oil, the reasons behind the changes, and how traders are coping with the new reality. So come with me, let's get to know the current prices.
How groundnut oil be for market now? The prices, how the overall price?
Okay, for now, groundnut oil dey okay for now, but we still want make the thing come down pass like this.
So how much na they carry jerry can? How much they measure?
Before we dey buy 42, but now at least the thing still good now. We dey buy 39, 38. Okay. So for now the thing dey less. So we want make it come down.
So how much na they measure? Like all this one bottle 5 liters. How much na?
Okay, those bottles now we dey sell 2,1 before, okay. But now we dey sell 1,900, 2,000. But we want make it come down.
Then all these 5 liters. Now.
Okay, as this one be now we dey sell level 5 to 12,000. But now we dey sell 10,000.